looks like I am live across at least as much as I can be for right now. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so, uh, intro. My name is Blake Allen Mavericks, and this is Live with Ebs. My business name is Ride with Ebs. Uh, it is a business focused on electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards, although you couldn't really tell that by the web store that I have going, that I will actually just go ahead and show you right here, right now, really fast. Boom. Um, because it looks like a clothing brand, because technically it kind of is. Um, the reason why it looks like a clothing brand right now is because of the fact that um, electric bikes and scooters and skateboards are, you know, they're very hard. They're very expensive. At least the ones that I am looking to sell. Um, I'm The business is primarily focused on electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards that are federally street legal in America. Uh, so 30 miles an hour top speed, and 750 watts to the batteries, to the output hub, to the hubs, and they are federally street legal without needing license, registration, or insurance. That is what we are going for. That is what the goal is. The goal is ultimately just safer local urban commuting for everyone, not just drivers. And the main thing is that we first of all, we are a startup. In a lot of ways, I'm kind of restarting this business. It, I I'm restarting the live stream, definitely. I stepped away for a bit because of some personal issues that I was dealing with, and it ultimately just became too much. A lot of things in my life have changed as of recently, hence the reason why I had to step away. But I am back now full swing. If you can't really tell, because I am stammering over my words like crazy as if this is my first time on a live stream. But I am back. I am doing this again. I'm back to doing this. And ultimately, the podcast is a way for me to just put my 2 cents on different news articles that I find about electric scooters, bikes, and skateboards, not just domestically, but also internationally as well, and just have a conversation around them, educate people on them, and different things like that. You know, showcase what other countries are doing. And it's not just about the products themselves, it's also about infrastructure too. And, kind of a wake up call as to, how bad American infrastructure can be in a lot of areas, and just, how inefficient it can be in a lot of places and a lot of cities. Uh, the divide that's been going on between residential and commercial areas. The places where people live and the places where people work and the places where people just congregate are all being so segregated so ridiculously. It's virtually impossible to feel safe if you need to go down the street and around the corner to grab a half gallon of milk without feeling like you need, license, registration, insurance, a 2-ton tank and gas and everything like that. And it's just ridiculous. In a lot of ways, ultimately, that's what this podcast is focused on is, getting the message out there that, hey, we need viable alternatives to commuting. We need viable alternatives to driving. And uh, so, if you buy a shirt or beanie or sweater, I know at least here in America right now, uh, or at least here in Indiana, which is where I actually live in. It's becoming warmer weather, so the beanie and the sweater may not sell very well, and of course, you know, I'm gonna be swapping these out pretty soon. I love wearing my beanies. Don't get me wrong, but I am definitely not going to be I definitely don't wear beanies year round. That is just not something I do. But I do have the sweater. I am actually wearing it right now. TikTok, you can't quite see because I'm kind of crunched up. But YouTube and Twitch and Facebook should definitely be able to see. And uh, ignore the fact that, ignore the capitalization typo. That's one thing that I didn't quite think of until after I ordered the prototype. Is that, hey, continuity matters, and Ebs is effectively a made-up word, and I kind of had to do a little bit of thinking about it, and I even I ironically I asked ChatGPT. I says, hey, um, with the fact that I want this business to, eventually I want to drop the ride with, you know. For right now, I'm just saying ride with Ebs as a way to really help to get, the brand going and recognized. Because, like I said, Ebs is just a made-up word. It doesn't really mean anything. And ultimately, ride with helps to make a little bit more sense of the word Ebs. Uh, Whereas, just saying Ebs, nobody knows what that is because it's a made-up word. But it is an acronym that stands for electric bike, scooters, and skateboards. So I was kind of like, hey, with this being a made-up word that can technically be pronounced, does the capitalization of the word matter if it's really just an acronym? And ChatGPT did actually say, hey, you got NASA. NASA's not really actually a word, but you can pronounce it like a word, and it is a known brand. So it's like, okay, I kind of screwed myself on this, but we come over here, and this is ultimately, you buy a shirt or a beanie or a sweater. I made sure to correct it, basically, is what I'm saying. So, at any rate, hey Sean, yeah, no, I know, trust me, I'm aware. Your presence in my live stream is very much appreciated on YouTube, and I know it's late. I had to get a few more things figured out before before I started the live stream, and I kind of forgot about the fact that this was Saturday, and I was wanting to make sure that I actually continued to do my live streams on Saturday. Saturday night, I kind of forgot it was Saturday, so I'm like, oh, whoops. Um, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. So, at any rate. But yeah, no, a lot has changed in my life, and I'm I am getting back into this. This is my official re-entry into my live streams. And I've just got to push myself to do this more because, uh, as of right now, I'm not even sure if, like, even if you go to my website right now. I'm not even sure if you can check anything out. I no longer have a day job, so I am focusing purely on my businesses, it does put me and my girlfriend in a financial pinch, but ultimately, I'm more equipped, I guess I can say, uh, with better wisdom as far as moving forward with my businesses. I've got more of my ducks in a row than ever before, and I have a much clearer uh, uh, trajectory right now. So, at any rate, that intro was way the hell too long. I'm just going to go ahead and say, uh, keep in mind, any advertisements that you see pop up on any platform, be it YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or anything like that, I'm not getting any affiliate commission, kickback, or anything like that. I'm not getting any sort of compensation for any sort of ads that you see. I have no uh, uh, I have no financial connection to anything right now except selling this apparel from my web store. So this is ultimately how I am making money for my business right now. And as of right now, I don't even know if you can actually check out at from my web store. I haven't been able to pay my Shopify bill to keep it actually up and going over the last couple months. Like I said, I have no real source of income right now. This is it. Like literally, uh, this is it. And I need to get this. I need to focus on this. So that's what I'm doing. But ultimately, you buy a shirt, you buy a beanie, you buy a sweater from my website that uh, uh, it stays in the business. It stays in the business. I'm a startup, and it helps me to be able to grow the business and actually focus on what the ultimate goal is, which is to get parts and components and to make electric bike scooters and skateboards uh, in hopefully mass quantity, or custom builds like you're building a PC, or even fresh off the line that's a pre-built, or whatever the case is. So at any rate, that's just full disclosure, and I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into, I'm going to go backwards actually this time. I'm going to go backwards. Let me see here real fast. Okay, I think that should be good. Yes, that looks like it's good. Okay. Warning government and TikTok, by the way. The only reason why you don't see my screen right now is because of the fact that I don't have enough followers to for them to give me the desktop studio version. So if you want, I'm gonna just be reading articles that I find that's focused around electric bike scooters and skateboards, as well as infrastructure, and I will be editing this podcast down so that you can watch it later, but also make sure that you're following so that way I can get my numbers up, so that way I can actually do a live stream from my PC screen, and you can actually be able to follow along. Or you can also, I wonder if I can just go ahead real fast and put a link in this for, well, you know what? Go to either YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, and just search for Live with Ebs. So it's the same thing here, Live with Ebs instead of Ride with Ebs, but still Live with EBSS. If you want to see my screen, that's the best way to do it for right now, but definitely follow me on TikTok so that way I can actually get my numbers up, so that way I can actually show my screen during the podcast, during the live stream. So at any rate. Okay. Warning government considering ban on floating bus stops. Floating bus stops. Oh, okay, yeah. Could stop new projected bicycle lanes. Okay. A cycling campaign group and London's Walking and Cycling Commissioner have warned that a potential ban on floating bus stop design of bicycle lanes could stop new protected cycle lanes. Could stop new protected cycle lanes would mean fewer people cycling and lives at risk across the country. I mean, yeah, that's a given. You know, if you're just gonna start banning those things, then yeah, that'd be bad for a lot of people. Because then they would have you know, again, that incentivizes people to drive everywhere, and the point of safer commuting is viable alternatives to driving. So that kind of doesn't really work that way. The reaction comes from the Guardian this afternoon. After this afternoon broke the news. The reaction comes from the Guardian this afternoon. Broke the news that Transport Secretary Mark Harper is considering a ban on the cycle lane design, which sees passengers walk across cross cycling infrastructure to access bus stops. Okay, yeah, that's a design flaw. Like that is a straight up design flaw, and realistically, so this is where, in my head at least, this is where, you really got to take a step back and be like, okay, maybe replace the buses with something like streetcars where, it's a single wire, and the wire guides the bus, the wire steers the bus in a way, and it literally cannot go anywhere else, and have it just driven by a computer essentially. Put a whole bunch of sensors in it so that way it knows, hey, this is a person, stop, so that way I don't run into this person, or have the speed limited so much, there's really no reason to do more than 15 miles an hour down you know, down a street like this. Just, for everyone's safety, that's just not, and especially with a bus. Uh, despite having Despite having attracted criticism from many, notably from blindness campaigners and charities who say the design puts people in danger and can be intimidating. They have been used widely across Europe and some UK cities due to challenge of building effective protected cycle lanes on bus routes when road space is limited. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. In January, leaked documents suggested that there was a low risk low risk of cycling commissioner Will Norman, showing that 623 reported instances of pedestrians being injured in a collision with a cyclist in London between 2020 and 2022. Just 4 occurred at a floating bus stop 0.6%. Okay, 0.6%. Two people were seriously injured, and another two suffered minor injuries. That's okay. So that I want to make sure I reread that, make sure I got that correctly. Documents pedestrians being injured. Just four occurred. Yeah, so that's a dip. Yeah, it is to the context that Norman has this afternoon reacted to the news that the Transport Secretary is considering banning the design by warning that it could stop new protected cycle lanes, putting lives at risk across the country, whereas the risk of a cyclist hitting a pedestrian at one is very low. Okay, so the risk of a cyclist hitting a pedestrian is very low. Okay, that's true, because typically, whenever you're riding a bike, and especially for me, because I do not ride slow. I ride. I push myself to ride as fast as I possibly can, and about the only time that I really ride slow, is if the wind is pounding me that hard. In all honesty, or if the terrain is not safe or whatever the case is like that. I've got an addict right now. I've got a Scott addict, and I've been riding that thing all over Fort Wayne lately, and it's just it's got the super thin, super narrow, smooth street tires. Well, if I hit a spot of mud in just the right way, I guarantee I'm going down. I've done that once. It sucks. So, but if I get speed up and going like that enough, my sense of sight and just understanding what's in front of me, seeing what's in front of me is heightened. Knowing what's around me, I can feel the presence of a vehicle behind me usually, and I don't have any mirrors on that bike. So that's one of those things that that sixth sense kind of kicks in, and it has helped me stay safer rather, I should say. My reflexes are just they're on point still. I'm young enough right now, and I'm fit enough, and I'm also mentally stable enough that if I see something that I don't like, if I see that I'm coming up to something that is going to be an obstruction for me, I already saw that thing, right? I already saw that thing, and I'm already thinking in my head. It's a natural occurrence. I can't help it. It just does it. I'm already thinking in my head, if this thing moves in front of me, what am I going to do? Is behind this thing, is this thing's path of where it came from clear for me to go around it? How fast is it moving in that certain direction? So, I'm already my brain just automatically thinks about that stuff, which helps me to be safer because I can react faster. Yes, the risk of a cyclist hitting a pedestrian is very low, um, as long as the cyclist is actually paying attention. So, you know, basically, as long as they're, not doing, ooh, boobs, as long as they're not being distracted by something or someone, uh, the risk of being ran over is the risk of a pedestrian being ran over by a cyclist is pretty low. Uh, Very low. The London cycling campaign is also reacted, saying the evidence does not suggest that they represent a major barrier to mobility, a major danger, or a or a new emerging issue. Um, is that saying? Uh, I'm not sure if that's saying that the floating bus uh, represents a major barrier to mobility, or if no, it would be removing. Yeah, removing the. I'm not sure actually. I don't know if I'm reading this right or not. See, man. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right or not, but at any rate, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Yes, some cyclists fail to stop. Yes, uh, better design, better designed guidance needed, but removing them would mean likely fewer people cycling, particularly women, kids, elderly, and disabled people. A thread on social media began. Meanwhile, there are other issues government is dodging. It sat on pavement parking action for years. A it it's it sat on pavement parking action for years. A huge issue for the visually impaired, disabled people, parents, etc. And don't get us started on how many signal, signalized junctions lack pedestrian crossing signals or are staggered crossing crossing or force you to wait for minutes at a time. Okay, so I mean, as long as they're talking about, taking it out to put new in and fix the design problem, uh, that's fine. I'm. It doesn't seem like they are, which is bad. Um, but yeah, no, you need to design infrastructure that uh, infrastructure needs to be designed around people more than drivers, and especially right now. It's leaned so heavily into drivers that it's ridiculous. Uh, and it's the taking one step forward to take two steps. No, it's the taking one step backward to take one step forward type deal. You know, you've really got to. I actually had someone tell me recently that, oh well, we used to do that, but we're not doing that anymore because everybody has a car now. You almost got there because so many people were sold on the idea of the car being freedom. That incentivized different uh, cities and states to pour more money into infrastructure uh, that is more suitable for drivers. It that doesn't mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that it's made for vehicles. That doesn't necessarily mean that that doesn't even necessarily mean it's better. In a lot of ways, it's worse. Like I was saying, how you've got in a previous podcast that I covered about this, you've actually got uh, you've actually got a school that's surrounded by basically the equivalent of an exit ramp. Like literally, the exit ramp of a highway was made large enough as to where it actually the school was right in the middle of it, which is not good. We're talking about, I believe it was a middle school at the time, and it's just ridiculous that uh, no students, even the students that lived closest to the schools in the neighborhoods that surrounded uh, that highway, they could not walk to school because the infrastructure was just so dangerous. Not to mention the congestion it was causing on the highway during school hours and everything like that. So it no, and especially like something like this where you're talking about how there right here in Fort Wayne. I was just walking down Broadway the other day. In order for me to get across the street at Broadway, to be able to pick up a Wendy's Frosty, um, I actually, because of the way that it's designed, it's so ridiculous. It's still a four-way intersection, don't get me wrong, but the way that it was designed, and what I guess that they were trying to do with the design was that they were wanting to make it so that if you were making a right-hand turn on red, you can actually make that more efficiently by not even having to stop. The problem with that is that you've also got pedestrians that are trying to walk across the street or you know perpendicular. I'm not sure if I'm using that word right or not. It's late and I'm getting tired, so yeah. But in order to cross Broadway right there at what was it? Oh God, I'm forgetting what street it was, but it was right there at Wendy's. Actually, I might be able to pull it up right here. Let me see here real fast. Yep, here I am. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Where is Broadway? There it is. There it is. Okay, so I've got Broadway right here, and I believe it's just a little bit that. Yep, right here is exactly where I'm talking about. Street view. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so this is actually where I was walking the other day, and okay, so I don't think this is not updated. Holy shit. Yeah, no, this is not updated the way it needs to be for this. Yeah. Wow. This is like super old actually. Huh. Maybe if I go far enough over here, it will be updated. Okay, so this isn't actually updated. Because actually, okay, yeah, this is updated. Okay, goddamn Google Maps. Okay, anyway, so yeah, had to come this way, and then I'd hit that button there to wait to cross this way, and then I had to hit that button right there to be able to cross this way. It really is just a simple four-way intersection, but they confuse the hell out of it. Like, really? Why did this have to go here? Why not just let this extend out so that way you make it a basic intersection? This should not exist right here. There's no reason for this except to literally just let vehicles come through there faster, which you definitely don't want considering, hey, you know what's over here? You want to know what's over here? I'll show you what's over here. What's over here is a freaking park. Like literally this all right here, right in through here is a park. You got the bike trail right here. There is no reason to let drivers, just rocket through there like that because you wanted to design, because of the fact that you wanted to design to just allow drivers to just, Tokyo drift their way through residential area with, children, and it just, mm, it is so stupid that they did that, and I hate that. Um, but at any rate, I digress. Okay. Force you to wait for a minute. Yeah, and it was a stupid long wait. By the way, for me to be able to even cross the damn street, like it was just stupid all the way around. And it still is. That's been over the last what few years or so like that, which is why I was so surprised that Google Maps hadn't updated those those few images yet. So, it just I don't get it, but whatever. At any rate, this then is the government promoting a plan for drivers, which is increasingly leaving any planning for cycling, walking, wheeling, climate, and road danger by roadside stranded. Of course it is. Uh, the Guardian's Peter Walker explained how it believed Harper has taken the concerns of the groups such taken the concerns of groups such as the National Federation of the Blind UK, NFB UK, okay, seriously, because he formerly served as the Minister for Disabled People. Hey, okay. I mean, if that's what you gotta do, then yeah, absolutely. It's good to know um, that there is somebody in a position of power, albeit political power, that is actually willing to take a stance on this and to really help the people that feel so powerless. I feel incredibly powerless right now because of the fact that I well, first of all, I'm just me. Like I'm effectively running a one-man show here, and I'm kind of down and out in a lot of ways. I don't. I gave up my day job. That was a dead end. It wound up being a dead end job, and it took me about 5 years to realize that. For a job that I thought was going to be a really good opportunity, and I still believe to this day it would have been a great opportunity for me, but it was from the wrong person. The wrong, like, uh, basically my boss wound up being a self-righteous monologuing asshole, and thus a week and a half into the job I quit. I mean, and at that point it was when I realized that, you know what, I make for a terrible employee anyway. I'd much rather just focus on my businesses, and that's what I'm doing here now. So, at any rate, I digress. Enabling healthier, okay, formerly for disabled people. Uh, Duncan Dolly Moore, okay. Cycling UK's head of campaigns commented on the news. Bus stop bypasses are needed to separate cyclists from motor traffic on some roads, which include bus routes and cycle routes, to create continuous cycle tracks with which enable more people to cycle safer, enabling them to live happier, healthier, and healthier, happier, and greener lives. Absolutely, that's kind of the whole point of this. So yeah, that should be a no-brainer, realistically. Um, but we must ensure this is done in cooperation with people with disabilities who whose needs must be fulfilled whose needs must be fully considered in the design process. You know, I've actually had a lot of people ask me, well, you're trying to promote this whole, only you only need a bike, you only need a scooter, you only need a skateboard. What about the people who are disabled? It's like, well, if they're disabled in their legs or something like that, then they would probably already be able to benefit from not needing to drive everywhere. See, if traffic is slower because it incentivizes uh, people to use alternative modes of transportation, then, you know, your average, paralyzed from the waist down, I'm not remembering the exact term off the top of my head. Your average handicapped person that is paralyzed from the waist down, I'm sure they would love to just, you know, use their powered wheelchair to just zip outside their house and go down the street for something, even just to go down the street to go to work or get some ice cream or, whatever the case is. I'm sure they would love the ability to just not have to wait on a handicapped bus or not have to try to pull themselves into a vehicle or not have to have a handicapped specialized vehicle that would, lift them into the driver's seat or whatever the case is like that. I'm sure they would love to just, I want some ice cream, joystick, go get ice cream. You know, I'm sure they would love to do that. But the problem is that they, in a lot of ways, in a lot of cities, they just cannot do that because even though, yeah, sure, they've got that power chair that would theoretically get them there, it's just not safe because they would have to. Their power chair usually goes maybe 10 or up to 15 miles an hour max, and they're having to basically fight against and hope that 40-mile-an-hour plus traffic uh, uh, sees them to soon enough to not run into them. It's just not. It's just not feasible. But if infrastructure actually allowed for people uh, and was actually built more for people in mind than what it was drivers, then you would absolutely uh, give the freedom of commuting anywhere and more people being able to commute more places without needing all that extra stuff, without needing the liability of owning a motor vehicle is the point. That's ultimately what this point boils down to. So, but we ensure it's done with the cooperation of the people with disabilities. Yeah, so people with disabilities are already being thought of in the context of creating infrastructure that is friendly to people, in all people, not just drivers. A Department of Transport spokesperson added, while TfL are responsible for these schemes in London, we expect local authorities to engage with disability groups and follow our guidelines, which clearly sets out that all infrastructure designs should be accessible for everyone. Okay. Read the words. You saw the words right there. You see the words right there. Somebody said those words. It sounds like to me, it sounds like they're not being. It sounds like there's not the proper action being put behind those words is what I'm saying. So. Clearly sets out yesterday. Transport Secretary Harper said tougher legislation to prosecute cyclists who kill or injure pedestrian is under review. That cannot be an extensive list. that cannot be an extensive list. Like I've said in the past, if you show me an article that says that cyclists are killing pedestrians anywhere near the same amount that drivers are killing pedestrians, I will show you a fake article. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. You know, the cyclist to pedestrian uh, 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 the ratio of cyclist v pedestrian uh, fatalities to driver pedestrian fatalities is a night and day difference. It just is. There's no way that it's not. It won't be considered. Okay, so yesterday, Transport Harper said tougher legislation to prosecute cyclists who kill or injure pedestrians is underway and will be considered with an open mind. The comments coming after Sir Lane Duncan Smith, the former leader of the Conservative Party, said this week tabled a series of amendments to the criminal justice bill that would see cyclists as well as riders of electric scooters and personal transporters. It's like they don't realize that electric skateboards are a thing too. Uh, Subject to stricter laws if they ride dangerously and kill or injure. Riding dangerously part of the gray area that can be, it's kind of dangerous that they put ride dangerously in here, considering how vague that is. Like, is riding fast really considered riding dangerously, or as long as the person isn't actually it hasn't actually harmed anyone? But yeah, no, I mean, on the one hand, on the one hand, uh, uh, on the one hand, it's great to see that political power is actually fighting for the people. On the other hand, do we really need political power fighting for the people? Why is it that there can't just be an influx of people that say, yes, I want this, here's my money, or something along those lines, make it be some sort of a donation thing where, all the books, all the transactions, the financial end of, city workers saying, hey, do the people want this? Because this is how much it's going to cost, and the people can be like, okay, well, I can donate this much this time or whatever like that. It should be that simple, and in a perfect world, it probably is. Unfortunately, we don't really live in a perfect world. Hence, the reason why we have to have some political power and hope that it fights for the people enough to justify its existence. So, at any rate, next article. Okay. Mackinac Island police remind visitors of e-bike regulations. Mackinac Island Police Department and Mackinac Island State Park officials are reminding everyone of the regulations regarding electric bikes. The reminder was issued following a fire this week on Mackinac Island involving an e-bike battery. Electric bikes are prohibited on the island, son of a bitch. Okay. Electric bikes are prohibited. Electric bicycles are prohibited on the island with the exception of those used as mobility devices as outlined in Americans with this of freaking course Disabilities Act. People with a mobility disability may use a class 1 e-bike which doesn't have a throttle and has a top speed of 20 miles an hour. That's garbage. Uh, E-bikes with throttles and Class 3 e-bikes are not allowed on the island under any circumstances, according to police. A press release issued by police explains the concern. Being the top tourist destination in the state from April to November, yeah, I don't doubt that. We are obligated to provide a safe environment for visitors and residents whose primary modes of transportation are walking and biking. We also strive to maintain the atmosphere and cachet of the island, which has been defined over the years, both by traditional and state and local statute, to maintain an absence of motorized traffic. The presence of an ever-growing number of e-bikes on the island presents challenges in providing the safe and enjoyable experience that visitors and residents expect. All bicycles on the island must be licensed. Yuck. Yuck. Yeah, I have a huge problem with this because, well, okay, first of all, if you really want the presence of ever-growing number of e-bikes and presents challenges providing the safe and enjoyable experience that visitors and residents expect. I am willing to bet. I'm going to have to look this up real fast. Mackinac Island. I'm just going to, Mackinac Island State Park. Let's see here real fast. First of all, where the hell is this? Just north of Michigan, it looks like. Yeah. Yep, just north of Michigan. Yep, right here. Okay, so. Yep, that is a tiny island. That is a tiny island, and to my eyes at least, it looks tiny enough that there realistically should not be any sort of need for cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, anything like that. So, let's see, Sunset Rock. Let's see what we got here. This is absolutely freaking gorgeous. This is looking gorgeous, but I need a street. There we go, street view. Okay, I did actually mean street view whenever I clicked on street view. Like, I was actually wanting, like, to see a street. Come on. Show me some. Aha. Aha. Here we go. Okay. Now, okay, I see plenty of bikes, plenty of cyclists. Yes. Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. So far, no vehicles. I'm in a residential area. Okay. 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 That's not what I wanted. Okay, what else? Where else can I go here? We're just checking out this area virtually. Um, okay. Okay. No bike parking? Why is there no bike parking right there? Why is there no bike parking right there? I don't get it. Do 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 do. Ooh, is that what I think it is? Is that what? Ooh, that's not what I thought it was. That is actually a horse and buggy. Okay then. I mean, it looks like a nice little town to visit. It really does. It like genuinely does look like a nice little town to visit. That is another horse and buggy. Okay. I could I could see visiting a place like this. There's another bike. Okay, so yeah. Um Another horse and buggy, whole lot of bikes. So there are a whole that it looks like there's a good amount of, analog bikes at the very least. Which I am pleasantly surprised by. Uh, TikTok, I'll be uploading, like I'm recording my live stream right now, so I will be uploading what I see on my PC here to uh, TikTok here. If not tomorrow, then definitely the next day. So make sure you're following so that way you can see what I'm seeing. Um, but yeah, no, I mean this actually looks nice. It looks decent. Um, I am very glad that I don't have to point out hypocrisy of, oh, well, you guys allow Teslas and you guys allow vehicles, so why the hell don't you allow electric bikes? But if this is if this is the if this is the norm, then if this is the norm, then I can totally understand where they're coming from. They don't really want motorized vehicles through here at all. Like I get it. They've actually made a city that focuses on infrastructure that is uh, primarily people first. So I totally get it. Promenade deck. See a little bit further down here. Yeah, no, this is gorgeous. This is awesome. I'm gonna have to have my girlfriend book a hotel here for a night through her credit card to be able to experience this firsthand because this is awesome. We might need more than just a credit card. This is north of. Let's see here real fast. I believe that. Oh, it is still in. Yeah. At least I think. Where'd it go? Come on. Okay, yeah. It is still in the States. Because I think, yeah, that's the border right there. It's still in the States. It's just way the hell up there. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. We'll let her know to book the hotel for the night. Sweet. So yeah, okay. I mean, I was about ready to pull the hypocrisy card, but it makes sense. It genuinely does make sense. They don't want um, they don't want most e-bikes that people are buying nowadays that are realistically actually worth anything. Um, yeah, no, they would want bike. They would want so this is saying specifically that uh, people with mobility disability may use a class 1 e-bike which doesn't have a throttle and has a top speed of 20 miles an hour. So yeah, they really do want to you know, make sure that everybody's safe, and apparently 20 miles an hour is the max speed that they found out. And in this scenario, it makes sense. In this scenario, it really does make sense, actually. It's just one of those things that uh, they've actually went the other way in the sense of, this is a destination. This is a place that you actually enjoy. This is a place that you don't travel through as fast as possible. This is a place that you travel to and just take in everything. This is a place where you can actually watch, just literally make a day out of just watching time go by and actually enjoy it. You know, it's not the equivalent of, well, we'll just put a park bench here on the side of this street road hybrid that nobody in their right mind would really use and call it a day. They've actually put the time into making sure that they actually have uh, uh, a little island like this dedicated for people, not drivers. So I could understand where they're coming from. I really can. Like that. That's awesome. Continue to verify. Yeah. Okay. Verify to continue. That's fine. Okay. So yeah. I mean, yay. Okay. Next one. Michigan considers GPS tracking or mechanic verification to fund road repairs. Okay. Let's see. Being taxed for roads not at the gas pump. Being taxed for roads not at the gas pump, but based on how much you drive is one of the ideas under consideration by the state of Michigan. That makes sense. Yeah, no, if I'm not using the streets like that, if I'm not using the roads like that, I shouldn't have to pay for them. I should not have to pay for them if I'm not using them like that, Uh, if I'm, going on a road trip down to Indy or something like that from Fort Wayne, then that makes sense. But it doesn't make any sense to be paying for something that you're not using, So, yeah, 100%. It's one of the ideas under consideration by the state. Uh, Michigan road funding formula is about a century old, and road repair costs have gone up for various reasons. I believe that, yeah, as well as a lot of other things too. At the same time, gas tax revenue. Oh shit. Excuse me. At the same time, gas tax revenue is falling, So now the state is looking at tracking everyone's mileage and levying a road tax based on the annual mileage. Right now, Metro Detroiters pay gas tax at the pump, which funds road projects across the state. That should be the way it's done across the nation, and unfortunately, it's just not. It it's just it's just not, from what I understand. It's going towards it's going towards lobbyists. It's from what I understand, and if someone wants to correct me on something, please do so. But from what I understand, uh, the the tax that you pay at the pump for pumping gas, that is going towards lobbyists who are in bed with the major auto manufacturers, and it's incentivizing them to be like, okay, well, we're just going to keep on making our vehicles bigger, heavier, faster, louder, whatever the case is, like that, or in some cases quieter because of electric vehicles. And it making them bigger and louder and faster and everything like that, it's more wear and tear on the streets. So it's a deficit at that point. But our vehicles are about 20% better gas mileage over the last generation. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Cutting demand, and EV drivers aren't paying the gas tax, so there's even less money to fix roads. They're not paying gas tax because they're not using gas. They're not stopping at a BP or a Lassus or a Marathon and pumping gas. So yeah, they shouldn't be taxed on they shouldn't be paying into gas tax whenever they're not using gas. Duh. It's kind of a no-brainer there. Hey, you know what? If I am paying, if I've bought my bicycle and I'm paying my electric bill to charge my bike at my apartment, I should not also be paying taxes for construction on the highway, because I'm not going to take my e-bike on the highway. Um, you know, if I get a car rental or something like that, then I would hope that some of that money that uh, I use that went into that car rental uh, trickles down to maintaining the highway and everything like that. But if I'm not using it, I shouldn't have to pay for it. You know, so there's even less money. The road construction you've grown accustomed to the road construction you've grown accustomed to is being paid for out of a $3 billion bond issue Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer issued several days ago. That borrowed money may have to pay back that borrowed money we have to pay back is running out. So on top of the debt, there's less money to fund future road construction. That makes sense. That does make some sense. They're wrong. They're crazy wrong. Bill. Excuse me. Bill Randazzo. Okay. I have no clue if I pronounced that right at all. None. The Michigan legislature depends. The Michigan legislator depends on Reason Foundation think tank road tax expert Baroch. Yikes! Nope, not pronouncing that name. Who compares the situation to a rock star on their farewell tour. I refer to it as a rock star on their farewell tour under the words, he's been around for a long time. But we all know the end is near and he is not as good as he used to be. Okay. Legislator included $5 million in its latest budget to study whether to charge an extra mile, to charge us per mile and track our mileage, perhaps by GPS. Joyce Edwards isn't buying into this prospect. This isn't necessary. Ain't no need for doing that. They be in our business. I mean, as much as what people don't want to pay for certain things, and especially people especially do not want to pay for things they don't use. But if I'm going to use it, it makes sense to pay for it. Like it just does. You know. Michigan Republican State Representative Joe Aragana of Macomb County says GPS isn't the answer, but taxing EVs and hybrids is. Okay. So you're paying less in taxes for roads even though EVs are heavier vehicles. So you're putting more wear and tear on the roads. They are heavier. I will grant that. Yes, they are. There's no two ways about it. EVs are heavier than what ICE vehicles are, and that mostly has to do with the battery. But the tax revenue has to come from something other than the gas whenever they're not using gas. You know, oh, we're going to raise the gas tax because EVs aren't paying their way. That's going to punish those that are paying. That's going to punish those that are filling up at the tank. That's going to punish those that are fueling up at the pump more. Like, a lot of people that have ICE vehicles are already feeling the squeeze at the pump anyway because of the nature of an ICE vehicle. Gas goes up and down dramatically more, realistically more up than down, but gas has increased way more dollar per gallon, than what electricity has, and it's not even close. It's not. So I can see where GPS would be the answer. Because realistically, the only other thing that you could possibly do is do like extra property taxes on homes that have, wall charger, because if they've got that wall charger and that solar panel and everything like that, they're going to be getting extra tax breaks from that for being clean energy. Take a little bit off the top that you need for road construction and call it a day. And while you're doing that, make sure that the material that you're using to maintain those roads and maintain those streets actually hold, they actually hold their water. They actually hold their value. They actually, you know, work for 5 or 10 or 20 years or whatever the case is like that. Because otherwise, you are just again throwing money away. Taxpayer dollars being flushed down the toilet, essentially. If you're using garbage material to make your roads and you're complaining about the fact that EVs are tearing up the roads, maybe use material that doesn't wear and tear so easily. You know, yeah, sure, it's a steeper upfront cost, but that's why it's called an investment, because you're going to get that money back over time because you won't have to be repairing them so often. So, you know, oh, that's not right. No, they don't need to be doing that. We need to fight this, guys. We need to do something about these gas prices, y'all. You want to do something about these gas prices? Hop on an electric bike, scooter, or skateboard. They actually weigh less than what a EV does, and as long as you're not looking to go city to city or state to state, you're totally fine. Uh, we don't like it, but rest assured, something like this is coming. It says 30 states are considering the road fuel tax. Four have already agreed, and the fifth one is ready to. Officials say the study will ask 20,000 Michigan drivers if they want to see the mileage tax in particular. Uh, if you'd be okay with the GPS option, which may not be popular. There's also the option of having a mechanic sign off on the mileage you have in your car. So the study goes along. The study goes along with another examined whether to build toll roads across the state. Ooh, the toll roads thing is interesting to me because that's a pay to play, right? That's a pay per travel. That's a pay per pay per play. You know, um, the toll road would actually technically be the fairest way to go about it because, in all honesty, the whole GPS tracking thing, like, some people don't have a reasonable smartphone to be doing that with. It would be bulking down that device. Hmm. The only clear answer I can come up with is get an electric bike, scooter, or skateboard so that you're not causing as much wear and tear on the road, and you're also not using gas. You are using electricity, which is cheaper. If you want to disagree with me, you're welcome to disagree with me. You are wrong. Sorry. Okay, what are we at right now? We are at almost an hour and a half. Awesome. Yes, and the last three are just random videos. If you choose to drive using this, get a bike. Experience real freedom. Saying. I can't believe you rode past 50/50 and there wasn't a car in the bike lane. I don't believe I've ever witnessed that. Yeah. That's definitely something that it's a good thing that that was recorded. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would have believed it. Clever tips to save time. Is this an ad? Yeah, that's an ad. Okay. So yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, oh, uh, next one. Oh, okay, it was restarting. I get it. Yep. To be fair, to be 100% fair, I would not mind whipping a Lucid Air or a Sapphire or whatever one of their vehicles. I would not mind whipping around a Lucid for a day around the track. They look fun as hell. They that would that would be my dream car ultimately. Um, I I would never actually own one, but I would not mind whipping around one around a track for a day, just to have the experience. Um, so you know, I wouldn't want to drive it down a street like this. I would want to, have it around a track that's actually made to go fast and really enjoy the piss out of that vehicle. Um, but yeah, absolutely, 100%. You know, that's one of those things where the the whole uh, the whole car culture thing. Um, I get it as well as I can because I'm part of tech culture. I've got my own custom built PC. So I understand the enthusiasm of having something that you've custom built yourself that you use on a fairly regular basis or a regular basis or whatever the case is like that. I just happen to be a tech. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a car guy. I'm a computer nerd. And so yeah, I've got a lot to my PC that I probably realistically don't need, but aesthetically I love it, and I also have an emotional bond with it because I picked out the pieces from Micro Center myself and I put them together myself and everything. Well, I had a friend help me because it was technically my first build, and he helped me out a little bit too much in all honesty, but even so, like it's one of those things where I I understand car culture and car enthusiasts, um, as well as I can being a PC enthusiast myself. So, but yeah, cycling isn't dangerous. It's just the fact that there's too many drivers on the road, or on the street rather, that think they own the street, and so then they're gonna do 40 miles an hour down a strip like this. It's really not. I've been informed that cyclists are reckless. Well, some of them can be, to be honest. It is definitely addictive, though. Facts, yeah, and it's addictive in the right way. I am going to, yeah. Let's see here real fast if I have any more comments that I can. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, now that I'm past that, how did you film this, Tom? I looked up this Hamilton Street on Google Maps, and it appears you're going against the wrong way to. Was close to cars for a day last year, early Sunday morning. Okay. Yep, that would be at Google Maps. Links for others may who may be care. Okay, yeah. Fire. Thanks. Yeah, no, that's hmm. Hmm. What happens here? I really hope we don't see something. Okay, yeah, it that cyclist should have known that something was that kid was gonna pop up because that bus stopped right there. However, I will point out the kid is most likely fine, minor injury, not dead. If that person were driving a vehicle, that child would be dead. Full stop. Beginning, middle, and end of that conversation. Cyclist says kid crossing the street in Montreal. Factual headline. The person on this bike had no way of seeing that kid. Hope they were both. Yeah, that's the other part to it too. Is that this vehicle right here was actually an obstruction, even with it being parked. Even with it being parked, it was still an obstruction. Charged out right as the stop sign was out. That means all vehicles, including bikers, should stop for children. That's true too. That is true too. Um, you know, not here to make any excuses for anyone. The cyclist should have stopped. The vehicle should not have been parked like that. And realistically, just it just is a bad situation all the way around. I will reiterate though, everybody walked away. It, no death occurred. Um, so, did the bus have the stop sign out? Cyclist. Did the bus have its stop sign out? Cyclist fact. Okay. You can see the shadow of the stop sign deployed. Okay. And the child waiting for it. Cyclist is riding the wrong way in a one-way, ignores the stop sign, hits the child. Yeah. Let me double check that actually real fast. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's up here. And that would be a stop sign. Yep, right there. That is what that would be. Yep, totally correct. So, yeah, no, that's just one of those things that. Uh, God damn it. Okay, fair enough. Normally it's always the dirty cyclist's fault, but in this case, it's on the. I can't blame the kid, though. I can't blame the kid. Yeah, I don't know about blaming the kid. Um, can't really do that. So, hold on a second. I gotta. So, okay. Yeah, I can't really blame the kid for that because the kid realistically had no way of being able to see around that vehicle. Uh, No, an unattended child was crossing the street when a cyclist was passing by. I mean, unattended child was crossing the street when a cyclist was passing by. More like child jumps in front of cyclist from behind a car without proper guidance from an adult. Also fair. That's kind of a fair take too. Uh, hey babe. If you want to check out either Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, you'll be able to see my screen. I can't do screen sharing on my TikTok just yet. Nope, can't do it. Only on my phone. Jumped in front of the car. Child did not look and ran, so it's his fault. Child couldn't look. Yeah. When a school bus stops, all traffic must stop, and yes, that includes you people. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's one of those things where the cyclist was, I think the cyclist was more in the wrong. Let's look this over one more time. And also, there's that parent right there. There's that adult right there, too. Like, you really mean to tell me that that adult couldn't have told the child to wait or the cyclist to stop? Like, the adult should have stopped one of those two. The adult right there. Was that the driver? No, not the driver. Okay. It wasn't the driver because the bus actually pulled forward slightly with the person right there. But yeah, the adult definitely should have the adult definitely should have either stopped the kid or stopped the bike or the cyclist or both, realistically. I mean, so, but yeah, no. I can't blame the kid for thinking the way was clear. In all honesty, I blame the adult for not stopping at least one of them. And I will go ahead and blame the biker for not stopping at the stop sign. (50-50) Guy definitely should have stopped at the bus, had its stop indicator out, and he is in a lane of traffic. Thus, he should have followed the rules. But if this, my kid, I think sure, yeah. Why can't parents walk their kids to the bus? Where are the parents anymore? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So, at any rate, okay. Next, I guess. I'm all for a good, like hacking, up steep hills type of ride. I might be looking at it from the wrong angle, but that looks like a 90-degree angle. So, I have no problem passing on that at all. I will 100% pass on doing that. Let's see here real fast. Amazing how it took me a minute, but I got. Yeah, okay, vertical Kermit. Okay. Really? And I'm gonna want to say last one, apparently. Yeah, last one for tonight. How long have I been live for? Just over an hour and a half. Damn. Oh well. Bikes are good for business.
Let it, bang, bang. Let it, bang, bang.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let it, bang, bang.
For all of the parents out there that oh well, I couldn't put all my kids onto a bike and take them with me and everything like that. I've got 2 kids, I've got 3 kids, I've got 4 kids, there are DHL drivers out there. There are UPS drivers out there. There are FedEx drivers out there that are riding around in cargo bikes that are delivering your packages to you. You really don't think that you could just attach a seat onto a bike? Here you go. In all honesty, I'd probably also want to still put an electric hub on there just to make sure that I don't wear myself out trying to go 5 miles an hour. Or the other way around, I wouldn't be able to come to a full stop. Just, it's incredible what additional mechanics can go into a bike to make it more capable than what it already is. And a bike is already stupidly capable all by itself. It really is. There's a bike is already stupid capable by itself. It's super nimble. It's super, super safe. Like I said earlier, you're not going to find any articles that give you a cyclist to pedestrian fatality ratio, because it doesn't, it's such a small number, it might as well not even exist. But it's just absolutely amazing to me what you can add on to a bike to make it more capable than what it already is by itself. It just is. And they've got them back-loaded like this or front-loaded with a bucket on the front that makes the front wheel stick out even more. Whatever the case is like that. There's ones that do this. There's ones that are food truck ones. There are ones that are just for drinks. There's ones that are, for actual mechanics or whatever the case is like that. So it's absolutely amazing. Bikes are good for business. Yes, they are. If that was true, then vehicles like this would be common. When I say bikes are good for business, I think you hear only bikes are good for business. Yep. Not so, but maybe you mean that it's plausible that bikes might be good for some businesses. But even that's a stretch. Even food delivery services use mopeds and e-bikes that require no pedaling. Most food delivery services here in Limerick use e-bikes. Okay. Yep, right there. There you go. Look at that. That is a electric cargo bike, probably delivering a bunch of electric scooters. Do you have a photo of the year? Do you have a photo of the year for your trailer? Be interested to how it's designed. We broke our rear left wheel bracket the other day, so looking at another okay, yeah, definitely. Another ad. How close is the distribution center for something like that located to the core? We are likely able to create that scale in North America, knowing the challenges in getting anything built, but particularly something industry adjacent. Yeah, but wouldn't work in blank. Yeah, until they get a until they get to a hill. That's why a lot of them are electric powered. The only thing I don't like about this is the word logistics. Okay, fair. You're not a fan of logistics. We got that. And awful for the bottom line. Why? Okay, thanks for putting in your opinion without actually making any sense. Uh, Going multi-chain, which is the best chain to. You asking a question there? Okay, they're asking a question there. These are actually pretty good for last mile. Excuse me. These are actually pretty good for last mile dropshipping delivery in densely populated areas. Hey, common sense. Uh, wouldn't be good in suburb though, unless riding out 20 miles just to drop off two packages for workers getting paid the same dropping two packages in the city is good for business is your take. Okay. Oh, wait, these can carry way more than that funny looking r- rust table stainless steel polygon. Well, going multi-chain. Okay. Sat wondering what the max. Sat wondering what the max payload is. Would love to watch them go from MCR to Middletown. Okay. Ridiculous, ridiculous contraption. Grow up. No. Super comfortable, easy to ride. Yep, something exactly like that. Where the bike? Okay. It's ridiculous. Not secure at all. Easy to steal the packages or the entire vehicle. Well, it would be fairly easy to steal those, but you don't really know what you're stealing, and you might wind up stealing some tampons by accident or something. So I see where they're coming from, but I just wanted to point that out. Hello. This is an example of a bike brain trying to cast a delusion as reality. Um, well, there's definitely someone delusional here, but I don't think it's who you think it is. Uh, well, that is the most underrated. That is the most retarded contraption I've seen today. Really, really, that is. Is that really the most retarded contraption you've seen today? Because you clearly have. Never mind. Never mind. Nope. Uh, that's a whole lot of insecure cargo right there. How much is bike insurance when that box falls off and creates a collision or worse? I mean, they probably don't have insurance on it, or it's very minimal. Because collisions probably happen less than what you think. Like, oh, hey Austin, how's it going? Like literally, it's Yeah, it's one of those things where people thought that I would die commuting back and forth to work and riding my bike all over Fort Wayne. Um, Even though, like, the main thing that's keeping me safe is how nimble I am. So, at any rate, Austin, if you want to either go ahead and jump onto Twitter, or not Twitter, jump on either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can actually see my screen there. Although I think I'm about done if I don't have any more comments to respond to. That's not a bike, Shiver Brains. Yes, it is. More offensive comments. Oh. Repeated violations could result in... Your live is flagged for hate speech and hateful behaviors. Repeated violations could result in your live being discontinued. Okay. Okay. Apparently, something I just said just triggered TikTok. Oops. That's totally grotesque. In the end, it's an electric car with pedals to decorate. No. No, it's really not. Where's the difference to the car? The difference to the car is that a car requires insurance, registration, and gas. An electric cargo bike requires none of that. Who pays for the additional labor or extra vehicle coolie riders and additional cross-decking? And thus I conclude the show. I mean, if it's really going to be that stupid. Good God. Okay, I'm kind of glad that that's done and over with now, because that was a lot of just negative comments. You know what? I'm going to stay on here for about 10 more minutes. Yeah, I'm going to stay on here for about 10 more minutes and see if I can comment on some other stuff real fast, just so I can hit that 2-hour mark. I wanted to make a 3-hour mark. I really wanted to make a 3-hour mark, but I will settle for 2. At any rate. Stop means completely stop, not tap your brake and keep rolling.
Stop signs are not suggestions. What the fuck is this? You're going to kill a pedestrian someday. Stop signs are not suggestions.
I mean, you are in California. Yeah. Stop signs are not suggestions unless you're in California. That good old California stop. Speed is a friend.
Street and the noise when telling to go. Calling you, deja vu. I just been in this place before. Higher on the street and the noise when telling to go. Calling you, deja vu. I just been in this place before. Higher on, deja vu. I just been in this place before. Higher on the street and the noise when telling to go. Calling you, deja vu. I just been in this place before. Higher.
100% sure what I'm watching right now. Invitation sent. Okay. No, whichever. Yeah, no, I don't even know.
Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on the street, and I know it's my time to go. Calling you. Deja vu, I just been in this place before. Higher on. Deja vu, I just been in this place before.
That was hilarious.
So basically, what I want to do is, actually, no, the wrong question.
J'espère que la dame elle va mentir.
So you get the tea and so this is interesting to know.
Thank you.
That's isolation. Yes. Yes.
So basically, what I want to do is,
Yes.
actually, no, the wrong question.
J'espère que la dame elle va mentir.
So you get the tea and so this is interesting to know.
Thank you.
It is all good. Especially in a downtown area like that. Brilliant. Let's see what people are saying. 90% of the people in this video are tourists. And I mean, first of all, there is absolutely no way that you could actually know that. Second of all, so what if they are? I mean, doesn't make what the person is, doesn't make Phil walkability, doesn't make Phil any less accurate. Unironically, I'd rather not know my neighbors if I don't need to. Any one of them could be a conservative asswipe that would strangle me for existing. I'd rather drive away from them. Wow, that's just a really negative view on just being, of just, knowing knowing the people around you. I mean, dear God, really? People just want to be a negative Nancy so much. What is your people's obsession with overpriced cafes and eating in little uncomfortable tables next to the gutter? I mean, not all cafes are overpriced, first of all. I usually get my drinks from a cafe that, it's like what? It's actually very good quality. I usually get like some sort of a hot chocolate or variation of it. And it's usually very good, very solid quality. Eating in little uncomfortable tables next to the gutter. Some of them are very uncomfortable, but most are fine. Like and next to a gutter, really? Okay. Little bit of bike joy for Friday morning. Kudos to whoever is working Halstead for this. Drivers seem to be extra antsy. There a lot of time. Okay. We have amazing parent coworkers and crossing guards there in the morning when they get extra lucky. We have some bike grid now friends who help too. This intersection and crossing Sheffield, Roscoe, and schools are the worst intersections for it. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and call that good and use the last 2 minutes to wrap up here. So, again, I just want to stress, I want to reiterate that any sort of ad break that you saw on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, I don't get any money from that. I'm not partnered with anyone. The way that I get paid for the way that I get money right now is through my business, through selling t-shirts and just this apparel that you see right here, the beanie and the sweater and the t-shirt. I'm going to be putting honestly, the t-shirt's really about it. Yeah. I've got all this available for print to order right now. At least I hope I do, because I haven't been able to pay my Shopify bill for a little while. And I'll probably get some other stuff up there relatively soon. Maybe a lanyard or something like that, or just whatever I can sell that makes sense for riding gear, or just whatever cheapo little thing that I can come up with. Obviously, I don't want to hawk cheap garbage on the internet that is just going to wind up breaking or being useless within a week or something like that. I've made an effort to make sure that all the apparel that you see on my website right now, ridewithebs.com, it is so far it is all from the same it's all from the same print to order company, at least from what I can tell. So I've tested out the beanie, it works. I've tested out the sweater, obviously it works. I didn't test out the t-shirt yet, but like I said, it came from the same company, so I'm confident with the quality of it and everything. And I've got the stuff priced accordingly. I've got the stuff priced appropriately for, just having enough revenue, having enough profit that I can actually grow the business. And I'm not gonna try to sell, I'm not gonna try to sell my beanie for like $80 or $90 or whatever it is like that. I'm selling it for $34, I think, something like that. So it's a reasonable markup from what it actually costs to get it and everything like that. So this is how I'm making my money right now, and I figure it's easier to sell apparel than what it is to try to sell a full-blown electric bike for $4,000 or $5,000 from a non-known brand. So that's ultimately what this boils down to, is just getting apparel sold and having fun along the way, just showcasing my vision for what I want this business to create in at least my hometown, if not America in general. So wanted to mention that as a quick reminder and full disclosure and everything like that. And I'm going to see if I can pump out another podcast next week. So, see ya.